actually taken the time to acknowledge me. Look at this Land Cruiser. So this is my spot. Hopefully it shows that too. I feel like this travel ride is excellent. There we go. That's right. This is trash. Wild dump. And it did not disappoint. It lived up to its name. So here's the deal. Imagine that you've been awake for 36 hours and you've missed flight after flight, delay after delay, and you finally get to your destination at 3 a.m. the day after you were supposed to arrive, and you're greeted with this madness. There are slot machines in the airport in Las Vegas. I mean, it's just simply madness. But this is Vegas, and this is just a pit stop for me. The real stuff is coming up. The real reason I'm here is coming up. Okay, so I finally made it to Vegas after, I don't know, 20 hours of trying to get here. And I just met Jake from Elemental Excursions. That's his Toyota Tacoma back there. It's set up. And it's gonna be my first time trying out a rooftop tent. I've hated on them a little bit, so let's see if I change my mind after using it for a couple nights. Hey, if you want to rent this Toyota Tacoma, you could do it in Outdoorsy. Look up Elemental Excursions, or what's the easiest way to find you in Outdoorsy, Jake?
elementalexcursions.com. All my info's there and more info about the rig.
All right, so check it out. Thanks a lot, Jake.
Great.
Well, I'm finally in the Toyota Tacoma that I rented from Elemental Excursions. Jake is a super nice guy. He met me. He was very flexible. Obviously, my plans have changed because of the delays I've had. And he met me this morning early so that I could get on the road. And I'm now heading from Las Vegas to Flagstaff, Arizona for Overland Expo West. So I'll show you what I see there. I'm in particular looking to see several things. One, it's some people that make awesome campers, who sell awesome campers. They used to be based out of Miami, now they're based in St. Louis. I'm gonna look for those guys. I've already done a review video on the Off-Trax Phoenix that they sell. That is a beast, just a tank, and I wanna see what else they've got. I want to see Trailed, who have upgraded or come out with a new water tank that will rest in the spare tire location of your vehicle if it's underneath the vehicle. I want to see what they got a 6-gallon, I believe, altogether. Maybe it's a little more than that, actually. Yeah. It's like 14 gallons or something. 6 gallons is a regular one. And then I also want to look for Dirtbox Overland to see. I want to see one of their canopy setups. I'm just so interested in that for the next rig to replace the Rum Runner in a few years. I'm not ready to do that yet, but I want to try that kind of setup. And then also, I want to see with my own eyes, in person, up close, Toyota's new lineups. I want to see what they look like and check them out. I believe also there's an Ineos Grenadier there. I want to see what those look like. Just a ton of stuff. Overland Expo West is the biggest opportunity to see things in this industry and to see what's coming out. SEMA has a section at their event in Las Vegas every year too, but from what I understand, Overland Expo West is the flagship of all these events. They also have Overland Expo East, which I believe is in Virginia this October. They have Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. That's either in like Oregon or Washington, not certain exactly where. Check out their website. And then they have Overland Expo Mountain, which is in Colorado, I believe. So I'm checking out the big boy, the biggest show. So let's see how it goes. And this is where I'm going to camp tonight. About 10 miles, a winding road takes you to a place called Windy Point, because it's at the top of a mountain. 6,000 feet elevation. So I'm looking forward to seeing that tonight. Half the fun in road trips for me is finding places like this. I just love them. Oh, that's terrifying. I hope the people got out all right. Wow. I wonder if it started with overheating brakes. Methinks that a Land Rover was here. Interesting. I keep seeing prairie dogs on the side of the road. First I thought, what a huge ant bed, big ant mound, but it wasn't, because right next to the mound, a prairie dog was doing his little, his little guard duty. And I keep seeing those, but they're difficult to get on the GoPro. If I had time, I would stop and just try to get some on camera, but I've seen those before. There is amusing. Probably no more amusing to people in this area than when I see a squirrel in Florida, but I don't know, they're cool. It's like being on Meerkat Manor, and they're right here in the US, the little prairie dogs. Really been thinking about how cool Overland Expo West was today. It was a pleasure to finally get to go. Saw some really cool stuff, got to chat with a few really cool people, and man, it just looks like everybody there was having a good time. And people were walking away with stuff that either they would have otherwise learned about, or that was, on sale because of the event. So that's cool to see. Anyway, I am nearing my turnoff to the camping spot. So I'm not gonna say it, well, I can say it here. I'm going to a place called Windy Point, which is up in Bureau of Land Management land. And in 5 miles, I'm turning off this hard road and turning onto dirt and gravel tracks, and I believe I'm going to lose my cell signal in just like a mile. So I'm going up to this point, going to camp up there, come back down tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this video, either I made it home safe, or my GoPro and my cameras were found after I didn't show up. Let's hope it's the first. Anyway, no, I think it's gonna be fine. It's Saturday, and I'm confident that other people will be up there. And as much as I like solitude, this is a situation where some other people nearby is a safety net. So anyway, we're gonna see what we think. All I'm aiming for at this point is to get to a camping spot before dark. It's a windy mountain road, and I don't want to drive it at dark. So I've got enough time now. I should arrive an hour, well, about 45 minutes before dark. So that's what I'm shooting for. Let's see how it goes. Scattered RVs out there. I wonder if it's some sort of organized camping deal, or it's just how these people are choosing to live. They all have like a shed and some storage building nearby. Interesting. Okay, so I am currently going to is it Windy or Windy Point? I'm pretty sure it's Windy Point Campground. So that's where I'm heading, and 11 miles, but it is up in these hills. So we'll see what the deal is. And I appreciate today's fire danger recommendation, but I'm not sure. It must mean it's okay. The arrow is pointing straight down. Somebody vandalized that sign, I'm sure. I'm gonna play it by ear. I've got some firewood, but I will be respectful of what seems to be the right thing to do. I hope that the signage continues to be good. However, this place is pretty well mapped out on Google Maps. Couldn't get iMaps or Apple Maps to do it. And what's stupid about that to me is that Apple Maps really uses Google Maps information more or less, right? I mean, if it's in Google Maps, why can't Apple Maps locate it? I don't get it. But anyway, thankfully I've got the Google Maps app on my phone, and through Apple CarPlay, I'm in good shape. There's cows, no fence. And coming in here, we drove across a, oh, here we go. I drove across a cattle gate coming in here. Cattle gap, whatever you want to call it. Let's ease by these guys and gals. Move out the way. Oh, come on, man, don't get in front of me. Wonder where these guys get water. I mean, it looked like maybe a cistern back there. Get by your mama. Jordan, did you see those quail run across the road? Maybe I can find some quail eggs. Well, that might be good eating in the morning, wouldn't it? What I would really love to see is some sort of snakes that come out on the road at night. Maybe when I get up to my campsite, I'll see something. I'm not gonna go out and look for them. I am not going to try to handle anything like that. But there's different kinds of snakes here than there are in Florida. I am familiar with the ones that are dangerous, the venomous ones, but I'm not gonna mess with any of them. I just wanna see them. It's part of the wildlife you see in places like this. Hey, I might can get some fresh milk. I bet somebody comes and drops these guys food once in a while. I don't have any food for you. Just for context, where I'm at now is less than an hour from Las Vegas. I think it's really like 40 minutes from Hoover Dam. So just that far from a place like Las Vegas, which is really not my thing, you've got this wild space. Pretty stinking cool. All right, so here's another cattle gate, or cattle gap. People call them different things. And then a rudimentary fence. But basically, if you've never seen one of these, cows can't walk across it. They see it and they're scared to. If they do try, they get stuck. Somebody has to come save them. So it keeps the cows in their zone. And I'm just idling 10 to 15 miles an hour in 4 high. I don't have it in low, there's no need for that. I just did 4 high to give myself a little more traction in case I get into a steep sandy spot. Might as well have the 4-wheel drive on, what's the harm? I did not lower any pressures because I don't think it's really necessary. If it gets to a situation where it looks like I need to, I can do it. But right now, This is better than a lot of the roads people live on where I'm from. So I want to tell you about some of the precautions I've taken with this solo camping trip. One, I've told Mrs. King Overland and my oldest daughter exactly where I am going to be, and they are expecting to hear from me by 10 in the morning. However, I told them not to worry until noon in case, you know, maybe there's some bad ruts up here that's gonna take me a long time to get out. So they know exactly where I'm at. I sent them the coordinates. I showed them pictures. They have the Google Maps link. Oh, you gotta look at this. This is fun stuff right here. Okay, so they know exactly where I am. I have made it clear what my itinerary is. If they don't hear from me by noon tomorrow, then they're gonna think something happened to me, which is helpful. Second, I have 8 gallons of water in the back of the vehicle, plus another like 64 ounces here in the vehicle with me. And I got plenty of water. So, I mean, for a one-night camping trip, even if I broke down or something, that's plenty of water until I can get some help. And the last thing is, I completely fueled up the vehicle. I mean, I had a quarter of a tank left, but I figured let's fuel this thing up, fill it up right before I got to the turnoff, so that if I needed to run the vehicle all night, maybe, you know, for some reason I couldn't stay in the rooftop tent and I needed to be in the vehicle and it was cold and I need, you know, I have enough fuel to do that. So all those are things that I thought about before doing this. So if you go solo camping, those are some things you could think about. Other things you could do is equip your vehicle with a cell phone range extender. My vehicle has one. The rental that I've got here does not. You could also take an emergency beacon with you so that if you have problems, you can let somebody know. Those are things that you can do to add additional safety, levels of safety. Satellite phones, also useful. Ooh, there was some loose stuff back there. And that's where I just came from. Ho, ho, ho. We're getting high now. Look over there. Oh my Lord. Let me focus on the road here. You know how I am about heights. But here I put myself in these situations anyway. All right, let me pay attention to what I'm doing. I don't want Jake to lose his Tacoma on his second outdoorsy rental. Just kidding, Jake. I'm taking good care of this baby. Love this ride. Don't worry, I'm looking at the road and just holding this thing sideways. If it catches good stuff, okay, but I'm not checking it. There's the next switchback right up there. I don't know if this is really a switchback. There's the next leg of the trail. Woo, nothing but skies ahead on this trail. I am going to the tippity top here. You know, they say that little boys never grow up. I can attest to that. I would have been just as excited about this when I was 5 as I am now. I'm probably more excited now than when I was 5. Here's a couple other safety tips I believe in. When you're going to do something like this, you need to give yourself enough time so that you don't have to rush. If you have to rush and you drive just a little too fast, that's when you start to have problems. That's when you can have an accident. And then even more so, going uphill, you kind of have an automatic slowdown, right? You can't go faster. You know, gravity's not coming into play to help you go faster. But going downhill tomorrow morning, oh wow, check this. Oh my gosh. Check out that vista. In the morning, it's even more important not to be rushed because I'm going downhill on loose gravel. Take your time. Got to give yourself plenty of time. So I just passed Packed Saddle Campground. I still have 1.5 miles to go to mine. I'm going to Windy Point. Wow, when this thing gets wet, I bet it's
600 feet, sharp right onto Windy Point Recreation Site Road.
That's what I'm talking about, Siri. Good job. Anyways, I guess really I should be saying Google Maps, but Siri's talking to me. Anyways, I bet this thing is slippery when it gets wet. There's some ruts in it.
Sharp right onto Windy Point Recreation Site Road.
Oh, that's where I'm going, right over there. I love it. So this is my spot. Fire ring and a picnic table. I'm still not certain what the fire danger situation is right now. We're gonna find out though. I'm gonna go back and look at that information board and hopefully it shares that detail. Holy moly. This is a killer view. Seriously windy up here. Alright, gotta put my cash in there. I'm gonna give a donation to the Bureau of Land Management because I only have a 20. I should have thought about that before I got up here. Check this out. I'll try to zoom in on it. I know the wind is probably fierce, but right over there on that ridge, there's some kind of structure right at the top of it. I wonder what that's about. It's interesting. It looks like, from here, it looks like scaffolding or something. Very interesting. Well, this video is getting long. I am cranking down on 25 minutes and I just couldn't resist because I am so impressed with the views here at Windy Point in Arizona. So if you watched all this, I appreciate you very much. And if you're interested in seeing the rest of it, I'm going to start a fire and cook, and then I'm going to drive down and stop at Lake Mead and the surrounding canyons on the way back to Las Vegas the next day. I'm going to put that up in another video, So for those of you who watched all this, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope you saw something in here that impressed you as much as it impressed me.